Let me start by saying, I love isolation. I live for long drives, silence, trees that stretch for miles, and places untouched by GPS. So when I found an old inn hidden in the mountains of Vermont, accessible only by an unmarked road and buried under pine shadows, I knew I had to stay. It was called the Hollow Pines Inn, a 1900s built lodge with moss-covered shingles, crooked window panes, and a hand-painted sign barely hanging from rusted chains. The online listing said it had no internet, no phones, no electricity after dark, just wood-burning stoves and lanterns. I booked a 4-night stay immediately. The innkeeper, a woman named Ruth, greeted me with a tight smile when I arrived. Her skin was thin, like wax paper over bones, and her eyes were milked over with age, but alert, sharp, too sharp. You're lucky, she rasped. We're almost full. I blinked. The gravel lot was empty, except for my car. Full? Most guests hike up or get dropped off. Some have been here a while. Weird, but all right. The room was charming, in a haunted dollhouse sort of way. Antique furniture, creaky floors, oil paintings of somber people in sepia tones. My lantern cast long shadows at night, and every whisper of wind sounded like a footstep in the hallway. But the first real unease crept in at dinner. The dining room had a long table set for at least 12, but only 5 guests were there, including me. An older couple from New Hampshire, a guy in his 20s, constantly checking his broken phone, and a red-headed woman who never spoke, just stared. The food was bland, the conversation disjointed. Everyone seemed off. Have you met the others? I asked the guy after dinner. Others? He said, confused. We're the only ones here. But Ruth said, she's nuts, he muttered. I've been here 3 days. Haven't seen anyone come or go. That night, I couldn't sleep. The walls groaned, like they were breathing. At 2:17 a.m., I woke to the sound of someone, scraping against my door. Slow, deliberate, then a voice, barely audible. You shouldn't have come. I froze, didn't move, didn't breathe. Eventually, the scraping stopped. The next morning, the red-headed woman was gone. No one mentioned it. Her plate at breakfast was cleared like she'd never existed. I asked Ruth, "Where's the woman from last night?" She just smiled. Must have checked out early. But her stuff must not have had any. The guy with the phone leaned over and whispered, "Don't ask questions. They don't like it." "Who's they?" He just shook his head and mouthed, "The walls." By the third night, I was jumpy. Shadows moved where light should have stopped them. Whispering came through the vents, though I hadn't seen any ductwork. The New Hampshire couple vanished next. No goodbye, just gone. Their room? Empty. No luggage. No trace. I decided to leave the next morning, but my car keys were missing. So was my bag. And Ruth? Nowhere to be found. I asked the guy. His name was Caleb, I learned. He looked pale, sweating. "I've tried," he said. "Tried hiking down twice. The trees, they change. I walked in circles for hours. There's something out there." Then he showed me his calf. Deep scratches, like claws. I think the woods are alive, or something's in them, watching. That night, Caleb stayed in my room. Safety in numbers. We didn't sleep. At 3:09 a.m., the lantern flickered out. In the pitch black, we heard it. Not footsteps, not breathing, digging. Inside the walls, something was tunneling. We pressed our backs to the opposite wall, paralyzed. Then, a thud. The wardrobe toppled over. Something inside it screamed. Caleb bolted for the door. I followed, but it wouldn't open. Locked. Behind us, something crawled out of the wardrobe. I swear to you, it had no skin, It was human-shaped, but wet, glistening, bones and veins twitching under raw muscle. No eyes, no mouth, just holes where they used to be. It lunged at Caleb. I don't remember screaming. I don't remember unlocking the window. I just remember running barefoot into the night. Trees whipping my face, branches tearing my arms. I ran until I saw headlights. A ranger found me at dawn, stumbling near the edge of a ravine. No Hollow Pines Inn on the map. No trace of any lodge. Just dense forest. I was hospitalized for 3 days. They found traces of blood on my clothes. Not mine, not Caleb's. And inside my jacket pocket, a tooth. Not human. I've tried to find the place again. Nothing online. Coordinates erased from my GPS history. The listing? Gone. But sometimes late at night, I hear scraping on my apartment wall. And just once, a whisper through the vent. You shouldn't have left.